AIPAC has made it their mission that they are going to get one of the squad members, and it does look like Jamaal Bowman is the most likely current representative who's going to get knocked off. They didn't get Summer Lee. They're not going to get Rashida Tlaib. I don't know what the story is with Ilhan Omar. Obviously, AOC is not going to be touched. What's going to happen with Cori Bush? I don't know. It does look like she's trending in a better direction than she was before. A lot of people do not like her opponent, Wesley Bell. But then again, where she's running in St. Louis is significantly different than running in New York City, where the biggest Zionist population in the country resides. And so having to fend off that part of the electorate, and I'm willing to bet that if you look at the way that the district lines changed between 2020, when Jamaal Bowman first won, versus now, when he's attempting to get into his third election, the district lines probably did change, and they got a sense that they could get him with the right challenger. And so they got this guy, George Latimer, who was, I think he's the committee man of Westchester County of the Democratic Party. And so he was given the grace of all graces by getting the endorsement of Hillary Clinton, among other people, the other day. Now, Hillary Clinton does live in Chappaqua, which is in the district. I'm pretty sure it is, in Westchester County. My aunt, who was an infectious disease doctor in the Bronx, lived in Harrison, which is one of the communities that is in Westchester County that is in this congressional district. And if you see the homes that are in these places, I'm not going to say where, but for those of you who I know Jen doesn't know who this person is, but for those of you who know who Harry Sisson is, who is one of those Gen Z Democrat Party sycophant TikTokers that, you know, is basically paid to support the Democratic Party.
I feel like that name is familiar. Maybe he was a bootlicker at some point.
Yeah, I think so. Well, he lives in one of those communities as well. I know this for a fact. And so this is who this particular representative is up against. He's up against the affluent, you know, McMansion, neoliberal voter that our friends Keaton and Russell over Due Dissonance like to point out constantly is who is living in these particular parts. And it is understandable that it is going to be tough for Jamaal Bowman to keep his seat. Now, look, I don't think Jamaal Bowman is without his flaws. He's not a good, he's an okay representative, but he's not bought and paid for by corporate special interests. You better believe George Latimer is bought and paid for by corporate special interests. He's taken more money in this election cycle as of today. That could change if you catch my drift after the next week and a half. But as of right now, he is taking heavy 7-figure money from AIPAC to win this race. And when you get millions upon millions of dollars put behind you, it's very hard to fight that off. Now, here's where things get interesting. And as we mentioned, Hillary Clinton, of course, comes out and gives her very poorly nuanced reason as to why she decided to endorse against a sitting incumbent who also happens to be black. Remember, the Democratic Party constantly wants to remind you about how important the black vote is, just not in this race, or any race for that matter, that gets in the way of corporate special interests, because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Nothing else. There is nothing else. Do you think people truly like and love Debbie Wasserman Schultz? Yes, she's got her sycophants that are still there. But for the most part, the reason they love her is because she is as ready, willing, and able to be sacrificed at the altar of corporate special interests for the Democratic establishment as any representative in Congress. No matter how distasteful and unlikable she is, she will do the job. And for the powers that be, that's what matters to them. And that's where somebody like this guy getting into power is not entirely surprising, as bad as he is. So we'll hear just a little bit of the wonderful rhetoric that is coming from what could be the next congressional representative from New York's 16th district.
Have another President Trump because of the lack of action from my opponent and so many others on these issues.
We may have a President Trump because Jamaal is good at talking, but not good at delivering.
We should not be sending any more weapons at this time to Israel. They are engaged in collective punishment by killing mostly women, children, and babies in Gaza.
What the congressman fails to mention in all of this is the role that Hamas has played. It's not merely a simple condemnation of.
I'm sorry. I don't want to. You always get on me, but I can't.
Don't go there. Don't go there.
Fine. Well, you all just be the judge, okay? I'm not saying anything.
Just tell me which eye to look at.
You couldn't help yourself.
What they did. What they did that day on October 7th triggered everything that has followed after.
Hi, this is George Latimer with a message to my fellow Democrats. I'm voting for President Biden tomorrow in New York's presidential primary, and I urge you to join me and vote for President Biden.
There was a
President
primary?
Biden deserves our support as Democrats. He came into office with our nation facing a collapsed economy and a pandemic, which was made worse by science deniers. He's brought with him a faith in our democracy and a renewed sense of what it means to be an American, with the values of strength, unity, and resilience. And this election is about more than President Biden and his record. It's also about the dangers represented by his opponent. Donald Trump has made it clear that his intention is to override our democracy. He has no respect for the rule of law. He has coddled foreign dictators, and he's threatened our NATO allies. And his willingness to embrace forms of bigotry and extremism to gain power makes him unfit to hold this office.
That sounds like a
including
speech that
allies
was
of my
written to him by
opponent,
Hillary
have suggested that Democrats should withhold support for President Biden because they do not like his commitment to the state of Israel. Please don't do this.
Here's the problem. It has been well documented that the people that are donating to Latimer's campaign are contributors to the GOP and especially to Donald Trump, because they believe that he's going to do an even better job regarding the state of Israel. So when you're out there and you're talking about or saying what you're saying, we all know that this isn't true, because he is saying unequivocally that he is going to be a representative of the United States of Israel, which again is probably the same mission of the president. But I also think that the president understands that his re-election opportunity is basically slipping away from him almost completely, to the point at which this could end up being a landslide for Trump. That's how bad things are getting at this point. We don't even have to get into the cognitive issues that the president is dealing with. Just this one issue alone is so significant. And you have this guy here trying to stand on ceremony as if to suggest that he isn't part of the problem. The problem that we do face in the political arena is that very few people are able to put two and two together. Now, what we are going to play is this quick clip that basically shows the depravity and the true nature of how somebody like George Latimer really thinks. He was on a Zoom debate with Representative Bowman the other day, and this is what he had to say about those that support Representative Bowman.
Rational government in White Plains that has advanced us in every area of public policy, all the host of things that we've done. And he will tell you that what we've done in White Plains isn't good enough. What we've done is accomplish things. What he's done is give speeches all across the country. And when you get as much money as you get from outside the district, your constituency is Dearborn, Michigan. Your constituency is San Francisco, California. It's not Harrison. It's not Tuckahoe.
So then by his standards, his constituency is AIPAC. So well, it's okay. And this is something that we got crap from like people like that. This is one of the talking points Debbie uses, is that we'll take money from all over the country. So who do we answer to? But the thing is that most,
I don't know. I think you've gotten a lot of donations, big donations from people who live in the district this time.
I have, but at the end of the day, it's like they actually don't understand that most people are okay with you taking donations from all other people all over the country, more so than they like you taking donations from AIPAC.
Well, the fact that he brought up Dearborn, Michigan and San Francisco, to me, is clear as day that is a dog whistle if there ever was.
Yeah.
Because when you say Dearborn, Michigan, you're talking about the #1 city in the United States with the largest Muslim population, period. And the fact that he felt that was necessary to say, when we all know that the biggest reason why Rashida Tlaib has not been primaried out of Congress is because Dearborn protects her. And they know it, because no one has been. Rashida Tlaib has made it very clear that Joe Biden should lose the state of Michigan, which effectively will lose him the presidency.
I don't see how he can win Michigan. I really don't.
I don't either. And listen, we love Sean Fain and the UAW, and they're going to do what they have to do politically to help the president try to stave off what is going to be maybe the most highly contested swing state when it's all said and done. But at the end of the day, we cannot fault the Muslim community for choosing to take on Donald Trump once again. And whether that's who they want, it's probably not who they want. I wouldn't want him, but I certainly understand that there has to be a political price to pay for the actions of a president who has aided and abetted a genocide as we stand. And there is no way of getting around that.
Hey,
one
Leo.
of our most amazing supporters locally. We love you, Leo. Hope to see you on Saturday, brother.
Well, we're gonna look. We're waiting to see what happens with the weather. We have to be at least, aware of the situation. I'm not going out in a storm.
Well, it's not supposed to rain on Sunday, so keep that in mind if we ever want to make an exception. That I know for sure. I know it's just going to be overcast on Sunday. So maybe that's the better play. Maybe we have to consider that's rather than take a risk, we should probably think about that as an option. But nevertheless, and then he brings up why is he first of all, do you know who brings up San Francisco? The GOP brings up San Francisco. They always point to San Francisco as the reason why the Democrats suck. Listen, there are many reasons to suggest why the Democrats suck. But again, it's another dog whistle when you talk about San Francisco. It's the LGBTQ capital of the United States. So why is he talking about that? What is his motivation? That this is supposed to be a Democrat representative who's coming in? I wish more and more people would recognize that everything is all about political calculation. They do not care about any of these issues that working class people care about. This is all about money and power. And Latimer has made it very clear that he is willing to sell out to the highest bidder, period. At least he's transparent about that as far as I can see.
Yeah. And can we say kudos to the League of Women Voters? Can we give a shout out to my League ladies?
Well, will the League ladies do what? If they're doing this, they should be doing one between you and Debbie. I'm just saying.
They won't. I know, but they won't. And I'm not going to engage.
We'll finish it up.
Guys, you're not even there to be part of the events of those communities. So I think, what has to happen in the next 2 years is you send somebody to Washington, a serious legislator. You know what I've done. You know what I can do. You know what I'll do when I come back home to connect with you.
What a prick. But again, money talks and justice walks in many instances.
It seems to me like he was basically picked by someone like Hillary and her ilk to basically just go in there to take out Jamaal Bowman. And
they had to pick somebody that at least has some name ID, and he clearly does in Westchester. But that's, like I said, that's what this election comes down to. It comes down to, can Bowman get out the vote in the Bronx at a time where there is a lot of voter apathy? People don't believe in listen, even though Jen has done a really solid job, all things considered, even we're having trouble. People are just giving up. How could you not? And especially with what you have on the menu and the fact that the Democrats rid the primary again to make sure that the president couldn't be challenged, that they basically threw everything out, and now they want you to roll out the red carpet for him and get on the ground and fight for him. I mean, come on. They don't even offer anything.